There's plenty of people in your life that will come out of the woodworks anytime you try to do something, anytime you put yourself out there, to tell you all the reasons that most likely it won't work. It will be a big failure. You shouldn't risk it, right? All right, let's go. If you're tired of not feeling fit, tired of just not having the focus or the financial resources that you deserve, this is your place to be. This is the Live 100 podcast. I'm Jason Yarusi. This is the place we break down the habits that no longer serve you so you can get the life that you ultimately want and need. So today we're talking about critic versus contributor. And when you think of those words, right, there is constructive criticism, there's critique, and then there's the critic, right? The person that always has a rebuttal, always has a reason not, always has judgment, always casts doubt. And you can think of that. There's plenty of people in your life that will come out of the woodworks anytime you try to do something, anytime you put yourself out there, that will tell you all the reasons that most likely it won't work. It will be a big failure. You shouldn't risk it, right? And many times they can come from a position of just not having any success in their life. Sometimes it can come from a position of love and care, right? You could have family members around you that don't want to see you hurt because they can imagine that journey. But on the other hand, there's contributors. There's the people that step outside themselves to go forward, to push forward the world, to create more, to give more, to conquer more, and to just guide more of the universe in a way that can be beneficial to all around them. So you have to ask yourself, right? Today in this political landscape, we have, a election coming up, and it's very toxic, right? No matter where you stand in this, the energy, the news, the noise is very, go get them after one, after the other, right? There's no pleasantries. And if you look back on decades of just how debates happen, elections happen, and how they used to have this mutual respect, right? That's all gone out the window. There's just negativity on many sides. And, I'm very pro-Trump, and that just because I see that the energy here has gone in one way that I don't want my kids to face in years ahead. We stand here in America acting like we are going to be the dominant figure for decades, for centuries. And if you look back over the course of history, there's many times where you see societies, right, that stood tall the mountain, that were the biggest, the baddest, right, the greatest in the world. And yet they no longer exist, or they are not the pinnacle power in the world, and we are. But at some part, there's going to be some reckoning where, in fact, our path forward is going to be disturbed. Our path forward is going to be taken off its course, and we no longer will stand as the greatest country in the world. Unless. And that's where you come in. You today, no matter what side you stand on the political landscape, who you're going to vote for, get out there and learn what you're doing. Understand the policies, the practices, all these things and how they can affect you, and then give your input. Be a contributor. Be someone that guides and helps. Don't be someone that just is judgmental. Could you imagine going around and just constantly having your feelings hurt? I just can't live in a world where, I was that person for years, right? I just remember I was always offended, right? Could you imagine always being defended? Because I look at that today and it was a waste of time. I didn't help anybody and I hurt myself. So where today do you stand on the side of critic versus contributor? Are you constructively adding feedback? And I was listening and reading this book on Navy SEALs, and after they do their exercises, they go, and it's called an AAR, an after action review, where they're very explicitly candid about what went wrong, right? They really get into it, who failed, why they failed, how they failed. Now, this isn't to say that you are horrible, banish you, where in fact there is massive streams. No, this is to get down to the nitty gritty of what went wrong. So hopefully in the future, because there's lives on the line, there's very important things on the line, that they will come to the right solution in the next time that this happens, instead of the failure they face today. So are you being absolutely candid with yourself? Are you being a critic to critique yourself in a positive way, to push yourself forward? Are you offering this critique to others to help them forward? Or are you trying to put them down so you can gain some higher level, some higher rank? If we want to continue to be a dominant country, we want to continue to be the greatest country in the world, where all can come and have the opportunity to go out there and create wealth and create a vision and create value and just push themselves forward in a way that possibly where they come from has not given them that opportunity, then we better make a change right now. because we're on a slippery slope of going down there, of just being critical at all parts, just for the sake of being offended and critical. But ask yourself, are you contributing? And you come to listen to this podcast to be part of the Live 100 family, so you can go out there and contribute more upon yourself. But what are you going to do with that? When you have the better body, the better life, the better regimen, more wealth, right? More better, best relationships. How are you going to go out there to serve society? How are you going to go out there to offer more to others? Where are you going to make an impact? Can it be at your work? Can it be with just in around your spouse, your kids? Is it in your church community? It could be in your sports leagues. It could be anywhere. Where can you come help others move forward so we can all live a better life together? There's no time to waste being negative and being down. And if you're going to pull in that negativity to yourself, to your mind constantly, well, guess what? You're going to get negative results, because your mind's going to be searching for that negative aspect and not giving the opportunity for the positive to shine through. There's a lot of research that as soon as you wake up, you should go and seek sunlight, right? Because the sunlight getting into your eyes opens up, exposes you, brings you into a state that awakens you, enlivens you, and creates energy to allow you to go forward within your day. And we need that light. We need that positivity. And that speaks to being optimistic in your day and your journey. If you're constantly in the dark, if you're constantly in the negative vibes, if you're constantly in a wave of just criticism, well, do you think that what's going to shine through is optimism and positivity? No, you're blocking it with the clouds. You're putting it out there in this universe, and you're asking for bad, you're asking for negative, instead of giving yourself to what is, which is possible. And your journey is going to be a lot of struggles. There's going to be a lot of detours. There's going to be a lot of roadblocks. There's going to be a lot of obstacles, whether you place them there or not. And sometimes we place our own obstacles in our own way just to keep us off the journey to success. But that's a whole other podcast. Today, it's the understanding that you are a contributor. You're someone who comes to this world to add value. And if you're not certain where that value is, just start looking out there to help others, to be kind, to do things that you possibly for 1 second tell yourself you aren't going to do. Think about it. See someone carrying something inside, do you walk by or do you help them? You see a piece of trash on the ground, do you walk by it or do you pick it up? You see a lady, struggling in the grocery store to reach something in the top shelf, do you help that lady? You see someone, in a verbal dispute apart, do you try to lessen that? Where are you contributing to offer value today? It doesn't have to be major. It can be minor, but the minors built together create major. So I ask, are you going to continue to be the critic or the contributor? Because we need you more than ever. We need to continue to push forward to allow this country to be the greatest country in the world. And it starts with one person built with many. And if you're asking yourself, how can I figure out where I am on this journey? Go over to jasonyarusi.com. There's a free assessment that allows you to truly take in where you're starting today so you can live your 100 journey starting now. And if you can do anything for us, if you found value in this podcast, go down there and leave us an honest ratings review. We appreciate all the great feedback. Love all the great energy. Let's do it.